everyone, it's been a really long time since we last made bows together. The last time, I think it was a few months ago. I can't remember exactly, but we made both these tealish green aqua bows. So today we're gonna use probably not this blue because it's very similar in color to these two, but these pink and coral colors to make some other types of bows. Now I got this velvet ribbon on clearance at Michael's. I got it probably a month or two ago, so I'm not sure if they would still have it. I do know that it was only on clearance at some locations, so others might still have it, and I was hoping it was on clearance because they were coming out with new colors, so I'll have to check back and see on that. Alright, so as far as supplies go today, we're going to be using velvet ribbon, but you can use satin, grosgrain, anything you want. I have a pair of fabric scissors, I have a ruler, which I may or may not use, I usually just kind of wing it, and then a needle and thread and a hot glue. Alrighty, so I think I'm going to start with this light pink color here, and depending on how long this takes, we might make two bows. They'll be very similar, but they will be somewhat different. So I guess I will measure out some yarn. I meant ribbon, not yarn. I have been using yarn recently in my crochet projects. So let's see, I will probably measure out 20 inches or so of this ribbon. Alrighty, so I just cut 20 inches of ribbon, and this next part I'm going to use a needle and thread. Now you can also use hot glue, but I prefer needle and thread because it's less bulky, and your thread color doesn't matter because you won't see it when it's all said. You can see I've already folded one loop over, so that's what you're going to do. You're going to make one loop, come back, make a second loop, and make sure you're kind of holding down here in the middle. Make a third loop, and then a fourth. So you'll end up with this little four-looped situation. This is a little, you're going to want to kind of eyeball it and kind of see that the loops are similar in length. If they're not, we can adjust. So I like where mine are, and I'm going to take my scissors and just, you might not need to do this, just cut a little bit more off this end because I don't want that poking out. So I just made it a little bit short. Next comes the needle and thread, which, as I said, you can also do this with hot glue, but I just prefer needle and thread. I think you have more control and it's less mess. So I'm going to poke up through the middle, and then I'm going to pull my needle through. This is a little thicker because there's a lot of velvet going on here. And then I'm just going to make like a little plus sign right here in the middle. You'll see. So I'll come back up, and it's okay if your plus isn't perfect looking, does not matter. This is just to secure all your loops in place. Alright, next our thread is coming out the back, so we're gonna bring it to the front. So you're gonna end up with a little, so you're going to end up with your thread looping around the outside of the bow, which is exactly what we want, and then we're going to pull to scrunch it up. So just pull it tight. So you can, as you're pulling, you can adjust how you want the ribbon to fold, which mine actually pulled pretty nicely that first time, but sometimes you really have to adjust it. We'll see what happens on the other side. So we're just going to do the same. So we're going to go through the middle, just on the opposite side, and pull that and kind of, sorry, my thumb covers it, and kind of guide your scrunch there, and just pull it as tight as you can. And to tighten things up a little bit more, we're just going to take whatever thread is left on your needle and just wrap it around the middle and pull it tight to kind of make that middle a little bit smaller. And then to just secure everything once more, you're just going to take your needle and go right back through the middle. And then we're just going to tie it off on the back. So I double knotted that, and then I'm just going to snip that part off, move that off to the side, and now it's time to do the center of our bow. So we're going to take some more ribbon. and you can guesstimate or you can measure this. So I actually got ahead of myself. There are a few different ways you can do this center. You can use the same width ribbon you already have been using for the bow. You can use a smaller width, or you can tie a knot. And I'll show you two, and then we'll do the knot version. So we can just take the ribbon, and actually sometimes I don't even cut the ribbon first. You can tack down, just glue right on the back there, pull it around, pull it really taut. Whoops, I dropped. So you'll pull it really taut, which I can't do as well as I would if it were glued in the back, and then you'll glue and snip it in the back. This ribbon is pretty thick for this center, so I'm not going to do that style, but this is a style I like and I do a lot, and this is kind of similar way that it was done there, and then when you do pull it taut, it will end up looking more like this. So then let me plug in my glue gun and we'll do the other style of centers. So what we're going to do here, and I have not cut this ribbon off my spool. I find that you waste less when you don't pre-cut. So what we're going to do is we're just going to tie a knot. So we will tie this knot and pull it pretty taut, and then you'll see it'll end up going over the center of our bow like that. So I did go, and I'm going to do some more and trim this again. Alrighty, so my glue gun is pretty well heated up. So what we're going to do is just add a little dollop right there and take our knot and just glue the knot. Now that the knot is secure, I'm going to trim this a little bit, and then we're going to fold it to the back and glue on there. And then we're going to do the same with the other side. Since you've already glued the knot in the center, it's not as important to pull it quite as taut for this one as it would have been with our other bow. And then we're just going to trim that little piece there, pull off a few of our glue strings, and there we have it, our cute little pink bow. I hope you guys enjoyed this little tutorial, and just like last time, I will save these stories and have a post up on my blog soon so that you can reference it there, and I'll also be adding this little story to my highlights in the craft section.